She threw his daughter's photo back at him like it was garbage. "A kid?" The woman laughed. "You actually thought I'd want someone else's kid." Nathan Brooks sat frozen. The photo of Emma, his 6-year-old daughter, grinning with her missing front tooth, landed face down on the table. "You wasted my Christmas Eve." She grabbed her coat. "Don't contact me again." She walked out. The whole restaurant stared. Nathan couldn't breathe. 12 rejections. 12 women who ran the moment they saw his daughter's face. Then a voice cut through his humiliation. "Can you be my new husband? Subscribe to our channel and follow this story to the very end. Comment below with the city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story travels." Nathan turned. A woman sat at the next table. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't joking. She was dead serious. "What did you just say?" "I asked if you could be my new husband." She stood up and walked to his table. "I'm Victoria Chen, and I have a proposition for you." "Are you insane?" "Probably." She sat down across from him, right in the chair his date had just abandoned. "But I heard everything, and I think we can help each other." Nathan pushed back from the table. "I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't know you. But I know one thing." Victoria leaned forward. "Women keep rejecting you because you have a daughter, right?" Nathan's jaw tightened. "That's none of your business." "I can't have children." The words stopped him cold. 5 years ago, my fiancé left me the day after I told him." Victoria continued. "He said he wanted a real family." His words. "So I've spent 5 years being rejected by every man who finds out I'm broken." "You're not broken." "Neither are you." Victoria's eyes locked onto his. "But they treat us like we are, both of us, for opposite reasons." Nathan didn't move. "You have a daughter who needs a mother," Victoria said. "I want a child I can never have. You keep getting rejected for having a kid. I keep getting rejected for not being able to have one." She placed her business card on the table. "Give me one chance. Let me meet your daughter. If it doesn't work, we walk away. But if it does..." "If it does what?" "Then maybe we both stop being alone." Nathan didn't call her for 3 days. He told himself it was crazy. A stranger proposing marriage in a restaurant. On Christmas Eve, that wasn't real life. That was a movie. But Emma kept asking about the woman. "Daddy, who was that lady at the restaurant?" Nathan froze. "What lady?" "The one who talked to you after the mean lady left. Aunt Jenny told me." Of course his sister had seen. Of course she'd told Emma. "She was just someone I met." "Is she nice?" "I don't know, sweetheart." Emma looked up at him with Sarah's eyes, those big brown eyes that could see right through him. "You should find out." Nathan called Victoria the next morning. "I didn't think you'd call," she said. "Neither did I." "So why did you..." Nathan looked at the refrigerator. Every inch covered with Emma's drawings. Stick figures and crooked suns, and one picture that made his chest hurt, a house with only 2 people standing in front of it. "Because my daughter told me to." Victoria was quiet for a moment. "Smart kid." "She is." Nathan took a breath. "Can you come over tomorrow?" "What time?" 6. I'll make dinner." "I'll be there." Victoria arrived at exactly 6 o'clock. Nathan opened the door. She stood on the porch holding a wrapped gift. "For Emma," she said. "I didn't know what she liked, so I got crayons. 64 colors. I figured you can never have too many crayons." "You figured right." Nathan stepped aside. Victoria walked in and stopped. The wall. She was staring at the wall. Every inch was covered with drawings. Hundreds of them. Taped and pinned and overlapping. She did all of these, every single one. Victoria moved closer. Her hand reached out, almost touching a drawing of a rainbow. "She's talented. She's everything." Footsteps thundered down the stairs. Emma appeared hair-messy pajamas, still on suspicious eyes, locked on the stranger. "You're the lady from the restaurant." Victoria crouched down. Eye level. "I am. My name's Victoria." "That's a long name." "You can call me Tori if you want." Emma considered this. "What's in the box?" "A present. For you." "Why?" "Because your dad said you liked to draw, and I thought maybe you could use some new colors." Emma took the box slowly. She opened it. 64 crayons gleamed inside. Her eyes went wide. "There's a gold one. And silver. And copper." Emma looked up at Victoria. Then at Nathan. Then back at Victoria. "Do you know how to draw?" "Not really." "I can teach you." Before anyone could respond, Emma grabbed Victoria's hand and pulled her toward the living room. "Come on, I'll show you how to make a duck." Victoria's duck looked like a deformed potato. "No, no, no." Emma grabbed the paper. "The beak goes here, not there." "I'm trying." "Try harder." Nathan watched from the doorway. His daughter was laughing, actually laughing, with a stranger. When was the last time Emma had laughed like that with anyone but him? He couldn't remember. Victoria drew another duck. This one looked worse than the first. Emma stared at it. "That's not a duck. That's a blob. It's a duck blob. There's no such thing." "There is now. I invented it." Emma giggled so hard she fell sideways off the couch. Nathan felt something crack open in his chest. Something that had been sealed shut for 7 years. Victoria came back the next day, and the next, and the next. By day 4, Emma was waiting at the window before Victoria's car even appeared. "She's here, Daddy! She's here!" Emma threw open the door and launched herself at Victoria. "I made you something. Let me see." Emma held up a drawing. 3 figures standing in front of a house. A tall one, a small one, and a medium one with dark hair. Victoria's breath caught. "Is that me?" "That's our family." Emma said it like it was obvious. "You and me and Daddy." Nathan watched Victoria's face, watched the walls crack, watched something raw and desperate flash in her eyes. "I'd like that," Victoria whispered. "I'd really like that." Emma grinned. "Good. Because I already told Jessica at school that you're going to be my new mom." Victoria's knees buckled. She caught herself on the doorframe. "Emma," Nathan said quickly. "Victoria and I are just... It's okay." Victoria's voice shook. "It's okay." She knelt down in front of Emma. "I would be honored," she said. "If that's what you want." Emma threw her arms around Victoria's neck. Nathan had to turn away. He didn't want them to see his tears. 2 weeks in, things were going too well. Nathan should have known. Happiness never lasted, not for him. His phone rang at 8 p.m. His mother's name flashed on the screen. "Nathan, we need to talk." "About what?" "About this woman you've been parading around your daughter." Nathan's stomach dropped. "How do you know about Victoria?" "Jenny told me. She's concerned, and frankly, so am I." "There's nothing to be concerned about. A stranger proposes to you in a restaurant and suddenly she's playing mother to my granddaughter. You don't think that's concerning?" "Mom, I'm coming over, tomorrow, and I expect to meet this woman." The line went dead. Nathan stared at his phone. This wasn't going to end well. Margaret Brooks arrived at noon. She didn't knock. She had a key. She walked in like she owned the place, which emotionally she believed she did. Victoria stood in the living room helping Emma with a puzzle. Margaret stopped cold. "So, you're the one." Victoria rose slowly. "Mrs. Brooks, it's nice to meet you." "Is it?" Margaret's eyes were ice. "Because I'm not sure it's nice to meet you." "Mom," Nathan warned. "Don't mom me." Margaret circled Victoria like a shark. I've heard all about you. The restaurant, the proposal, the sudden appearance in my granddaughter's life. I understand your concern. Do you? Because from where I'm standing, you look like a woman who wants something. They always want something. Victoria didn't flinch. I want a family, Mrs. Brooks. That's all. A family? Margaret laughed coldly. With my son, whose wife died, whose daughter needs stability, not some career woman playing house. I'm not playing anything. Then what are you doing? Because real mothers don't show up out of nowhere. Real mothers earn their place. Real mothers can have children. Victoria's voice went flat. Is that what you were going to say? Margaret's mouth snapped shut. I know what you're thinking, Victoria continued. She can't give him more kids. She can't give Emma siblings. She's defective. I didn't say, you didn't have to. Victoria stepped closer. I've heard it all before. From my own family. From every man who's ever left me. I'm used to it. She grabbed her coat from the chair. But I'll tell you something, Mrs. Brooks. I may not be able to have children of my own, but I love that little girl. Her voice cracked. I love her like she's mine, and nothing you say is going to change that. Victoria walked out. Emma burst into tears. Why did Grandma make Tori leave? Margaret stood frozen. For the first time in her life, she had nothing to say. Nathan found Victoria in her car. She was shaking, tears streaming down her face. He opened the passenger door and got in. I'm sorry, he said. Don't. Victoria's hands gripped the steering wheel. Don't apologize for her. She was wrong. Everything she said, was she? Victoria turned to him, mascara running, eyes red. Because maybe she's right. Maybe I don't belong here. Maybe I'm just a stranger who showed up and inserted herself into your life. That's not true. Then what am I, Nathan? Your girlfriend, your fiancée, Emma's pretend mother. Nathan grabbed her face, forced her to look at him. You're the first person in 7 years who made my daughter laugh like that. You're the first person who made my house feel like a home again. You're the first person who looked at me and didn't see baggage. Victoria's tears kept falling. You're not a stranger, Nathan said. You're not pretend. You're everything. Do you understand everything? He kissed her. She tasted like tears and desperation and 7 years of loneliness finally ending. When they pulled apart, Victoria was still crying. I'm scared, she whispered. Of what? Of losing this. Of losing her. Of losing you. Nathan pulled her close. You won't. I promise. You won't. Yeah, Nathan confronted his mother that night. You need to apologize to her. Margaret sat in the kitchen drinking tea like nothing had happened. I was protecting my family. You were attacking the woman I love. Margaret's cup froze halfway to her lips. Love? You've known her for 2 weeks. Time doesn't matter. Connection matters. And I'm connected to her. Nathan, be realistic. No. Nathan slammed his hand on the table. You be realistic. Sarah is gone. She's been gone for 7 years, and I've spent every single one of those years alone, raising Emma alone, sleeping in an empty bed, coming home to a silent house. Do you have any idea what that's like? Margaret's face went pale. Victoria sees me. Nathan continued. She sees Emma. She doesn't look at us like we're damaged goods. She looks at us like we're a gift. Nathan, if you can't accept her, then you can't be part of our lives. It's that simple. He walked out of the kitchen. Behind him, Margaret sat in silence. For the first time, she looked old, fragile, uncertain. 3 weeks in Victoria's world exploded. Her phone rang during dinner. She looked at the screen and went white. I have to take this. She stepped outside. Nathan watched through the window as she paced her body language, screaming tension. When she came back, her hands were trembling. "What happened?" Nathan asked. "My father." Victoria sat down heavily. "He knows about you." "Is that bad?" Victoria laughed, a hollow, broken sound. "Daniel Chen doesn't approve of things. He destroys them. He can't destroy us. You don't know him." Victoria looked at Nathan with haunted eyes. "He destroyed my last relationship, and the one before that, and every friendship I've ever had that he didn't arrange himself." "How?" "Money, threats, manipulation. He finds out what people want and then he takes it away. Or he offers them something better to leave." Nathan reached for her hand. "I don't want his money. He won't believe that." "Then let him not believe it. I don't care." Victoria squeezed his fingers. "He's coming here. Next week. He wants to evaluate you." "Let him come." "Nathan, you don't understand." "I understand that I love you." Nathan lifted her chin. "And I understand that no one, not my mother, not your father, not anyone is going to take that away." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "You mean that I've never meant anything more." Daniel Chen arrived on a Tuesday. He didn't come to Nathan's house. He summoned them to a restaurant, the most expensive one in Boston. The kind with waiters in tuxedos and wine that cost more than Nathan's monthly salary. Power play. Nathan recognized it immediately. Daniel sat at the head of the table. Silver hair. Cold eyes. A smile that didn't reach anywhere near his face. "Mr. Brooks, thank you for coming." "Mr. Chen, please sit." Daniel gestured to the chairs across from him, like they were employees at a job interview. Nathan sat. Victoria sat beside him, her hand finding his under the table. "I'll be direct," Daniel said. "I've done my research on you, Mr. Brooks. You're an architect, mid-level position, salary in the low six figures. You drive a 12-year-old Honda. You have $63,000 in savings and roughly $40,000 remaining on your mortgage." Nathan's blood ran cold. "You investigated me. I investigate everyone who enters my daughter's life." Daniel sipped his wine. "It's how I protect her. From what men who might actually love her? From men who want to use her." Daniel set down his glass. "My daughter is worth $400 million, Mr. Brooks. Do you expect me to believe you're not interested in that? I didn't know she was worth anything until just now. And now that you do, it doesn't change anything." Daniel laughed. "They all say that, right up until they sign the prenup. Then suddenly they have lawyers asking about asset division." "Father," Victoria cut in, "that's enough." "Is it? Because I'm just getting started." Daniel turned back to Nathan. "Your wife died 7 years ago. Ovarian cancer. Took her in 8 months. You were left with a 6-month-old daughter and $60,000 in medical debt." Nathan's fists clenched under the table. "You struggled for 3 years. Took a second job. Worked weekends. Finally paid off the debt, but you've never recovered financially." Daniel leaned forward. "How convenient that my daughter appeared right when you needed rescuing." "I don't need rescuing." "No, then why did you accept when a stranger proposed to you in a restaurant?" Nathan stood up. His chair scraped back. "Because she was kind," he said. "Because she saw my daughter's photo and didn't run away. Because she sat on my floor and let my kid teach her how to draw ducks. Because she looks at Emma like she's a miracle instead of a burden." He leaned over the table, getting in Daniel's face. "I don't give a damn about your money, Mr. Chen. I never have. The only thing I want from your family is Victoria. And if you have a problem with that, you can take your $400 million and choke on it." Nathan grabbed his coat and walked out. Victoria caught up with him outside. "Nathan, wait." He spun around. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have." "That was incredible." Nathan blinked. "What?" No one has ever stood up to him like that. Victoria's eyes were shining. Not once, Not ever. Everyone's always too scared. I'm not scared of him. I know. Victoria grabbed his face and kissed him, hard, desperate. I know you're not. When they pulled apart, she was laughing and crying at the same time. He's going to try to destroy us, she said. You know that, right? Let him try. Nathan, I'm serious. He'll find a way. He always finds a way. Nathan pulled her close. Then we'll fight him, together. Victoria buried her face in his chest. Together. Behind them, through the restaurant window, Daniel Chen watched. His phone was already in his hand. The attack came 3 days later. Nathan arrived at work to find his boss waiting in his office. Close the door. Nathan closed it. What's going on? His boss, a man he'd worked with for 9 years, couldn't meet his eyes. I got a call this morning. From Chen Industries. Nathan's stomach dropped. They're offering to fund our entire expansion project. $30 million. But they have one condition. What condition? His boss finally looked up. You. Me. They want you gone, Nathan. Fired. Today. If I don't do it, we lose the funding. Nathan couldn't breathe. Tom, you can't. I don't have a choice. Tom slammed his hand on the desk. $30 million. Do you know what that means for this company, for the people who work here? This is blackmail. This is business. Tom's voice broke. I'm sorry, I really am, but I have 200 employees counting on me. I can't sacrifice all of them for one person. Nathan stood frozen. 9 years. 9 years of dedication, of late nights, of weekends, of missing Emma's school plays to finish projects. Gone. In one phone call. I need you to clean out your desk, Tom said quietly. HR will handle the paperwork. Nathan walked out without a word. He sat in his car for an hour, just sat there, staring at nothing. His phone buzzed. A text from Victoria. How's your day going? Nathan's hands shook as he typed back. We need to talk. Victoria came over that night. Nathan told her everything. The phone call, the ultimatum, the firing. She listened in silence, her face growing paler with every word. When he finished, she exploded. I'll kill him. She grabbed her phone. I'll destroy his company. Victoria, stop. This is my fault. Tears streamed down her face. He did this because of me. Because I chose you. This isn't your fault. How can you say that? You just lost your job because my father is a monster. Nathan grabbed her hands, forced her to look at him. Listen to me. I knew this might happen. You warned me, and I chose to stay anyway. Why? Victoria's voice cracked. Why would you stay? Any sane person would run. Because I love you. Love doesn't pay bills, Nathan. Love is the only thing that matters. Nathan pulled her close. I'll find another job. I'll figure it out. But I'm not leaving you. Not now. Not ever. Victoria broke down in his arms. I'm so sorry, she sobbed. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. Just stay. I'll always stay. Victoria looked up at him. Always. Upstairs, Emma sat on the top step. She'd heard everything. She didn't understand all of it. But she understood enough. The bad man was trying to take Tori away. Emma clutched her stuffed rabbit tighter. Nobody was taking her Tori. Nobody. The next morning, Emma marched downstairs with a piece of paper. Daddy, I made something. Nathan looked up from his coffee. What is it, sweetheart? Emma held out the drawing. It showed 4 figures. A tall man. A medium woman with dark hair. A small girl with pigtails. And a shadowy figure off to the side crossed out with red crayon. That's our family, Emma said, pointing to the 3 figures. And that's the bad man. Nathan's heart stopped. Emma, he can't have us. Emma's voice was fierce. We're a family, and families stay together. Nathan picked up his daughter and held her tight. You're right, sweetheart. Families stay together. Promise? Promise. Over Emma's shoulder, Nathan saw Victoria standing in the doorway, tears streaming down her face, hand over her mouth. She'd heard every word. And in that moment, Nathan knew. No matter what Daniel Chen did next, they would survive it. Together. Daniel Chen didn't stop at Nathan's job. 3 days after the firing, Victoria's phone rang during breakfast. She looked at the screen, and her face went gray. It's my mother. Nathan watched her step outside. Through the window, he saw her pacing, gesturing, then stopping completely. When she came back in, she looked like someone had died. What happened? My mother just disowned me. Nathan's coffee cup froze halfway to his mouth. What? She said if I don't leave you by the end of the week, I'm out of the family. Victoria's voice was hollow. No more contact, no more inheritance, nothing. Victoria. She's never gone against my father before. Not once. She's always been on my side even when she pretended she wasn't. Victoria sat down heavily. He got to her. He got to my own mother. Nathan reached for her hand. I'm sorry. Don't be. Victoria looked at him with red-rimmed eyes. I made my choice. I choose you. You're losing your family. I'm gaining a new one. From the doorway, Emma's small voice interrupted them. Tori, are you sad? Victoria wiped her eyes quickly. I'm okay, sweetheart. Emma walked over and climbed into Victoria's lap. My daddy says when you're sad, hugs help. She wrapped her arms around Victoria's neck and squeezed tight. Victoria broke. She buried her face in Emma's hair and sobbed. Not delicate tears. Not quiet crying. Deep, wrenching sobs that shook her whole body. Nathan moved to them both. He wrapped his arms around Victoria and Emma together. We've got you, he whispered. We've got you. The three of them stayed like that until Victoria's tears finally stopped. A week passed. Nathan searched for jobs every day. He sent out 47 applications. He got 3 responses, all rejections. He tried not to let Victoria see his fear, but she saw it anyway. It's him, isn't it? She said one night after Emma went to bed. My father. He's blacklisting you. Nathan didn't answer. He didn't have to. I can fix this. Victoria grabbed her phone. I can call my contacts. There are people who don't owe him anything. No. Nathan, you need a job. Emma needs... I need to do this myself. Nathan took the phone from her hand. If I let you fix everything, he wins. He proves that I need your money. That I can't provide for my own family. That's pride talking. Maybe, but it's also the truth. Nathan pulled her close. I'll find something. I always do. Victoria didn't look convinced, but she stopped arguing. The next morning, Nathan's phone rang. He didn't recognize the number. He almost didn't answer. Mr. Brooks, this is Margaret Chen. Nathan's blood went cold. How did you get this number? That's not important. What's important is that I need to see you, today, without my daughter knowing. Why would I do that? Because I have information you need, about what Daniel is planning next. Nathan's grip tightened on the phone. What kind of information? The kind that will destroy your relationship if I don't warn you. Margaret's voice dropped. He's not just trying to break you up anymore. He's trying to take your daughter. The world stopped. What did you just say? Meet me at the coffee shop on Maple Street, 2 o'clock. Come alone. The line went dead. Nathan stared at his phone. Take his daughter. How? Why? His hands were shaking so hard he almost dropped the phone. He didn't tell Victoria. At 2 o'clock, Nathan walked into the coffee shop. Margaret Chen sat in the back corner. She looked nothing like her husband. Where Daniel was cold, she looked tired, worn down, like a woman who had been fighting battles no one could see. Nathan sat across from her. Talk. My husband has hired a private investigator. Margaret's hands wrapped around her coffee cup. He's building a case against you. A case for what? Child endangerment, neglect, unfit parenting. Nathan's stomach dropped. That's insane. I've never... It doesn't matter what you've done. Margaret cut him off. It matters what he can make people believe. He has money. He has lawyers. He has connections in family court. Why are you telling me this? Margaret was quiet for a long moment. Because I've watched my husband destroy everyone Victoria has ever loved. Boyfriends, friends, business partners, anyone who got close. She looked up at Nathan. He tells himself he's protecting her, but he's not. He's isolating her, controlling her, breaking her. Then why don't you stop him? I've tried. Margaret's voice cracked. For 30 years I've tried, but Daniel doesn't listen. He never listens. He just takes whatever he wants, however he wants. So what do I do? Fight back. Margaret reached into her purse and pulled out a folder. Everything is in here. His plans, his contacts, the PI's name, the lawyers he's hired. Nathan took the folder. Why are you helping me? Because my daughter finally looks happy. Margaret's eyes filled with tears. I've never seen her like this. Not once. Not in 34 years. And I'll be damned if I let Daniel take that away from her. She stood up. Be careful, Mr. Brooks. My husband doesn't lose. Ever. Neither do I. Margaret looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded once and walked out. Nathan opened the folder. What he saw inside made his blood run cold. That night, Nathan told Victoria everything. She listened in silence. Her face went from pale to white to something beyond color. When he finished, she didn't speak for a full minute. Then she exploded. He's trying to take Emma. That's what your mother said. My mother came to you behind my back. She was trying to help. She should have come to me. Victoria was pacing now, back and forth, hands shaking. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to walk into his office and... Victoria, stop. Don't tell me to stop. He's threatening your daughter. I know, and we're going to fight him. But not like this. Not with anger. Victoria spun to face him. Then how do you fight someone who has everything with the truth? Nathan held up the folder. Your mother gave me everything. His plans, his contacts, everything. What are you going to do with it? I don't know yet, but I know someone who might. Nathan picked up his phone and dialed a number he hadn't called in years. Tom, it's Nathan Brooks. I need a favor. Tom, his former boss, was silent on the other end. I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but this isn't about the job. It's about my daughter. More silence. Then Tom's voice, careful and quiet. What do you need? You have connections in family law. Your brother-in-law is a judge. Nathan, I'm not asking you to interfere. I'm asking you to listen. Daniel Chen is trying to take my daughter, fabricating evidence, building a false case, and I need someone who can tell me how to stop him. The line was quiet for a long time. Meet me tomorrow, Tom finally said. 8 a.m., my office. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. The next morning, Nathan sat across from Tom in the office that used to be his second home. I made some calls last night, Tom said. He looked like he hadn't slept. Chen's lawyers are already filing preliminary motions. They're claiming you've been neglecting Emma, missing school events, leaving her with unqualified caregivers. That's a lie. I know it's a lie, but they have documentation. Fabricated probably, but professional enough to pass initial review. So what do I do? Tom slid a business card across the desk. Her name is Rachel Torres. Best family lawyer in the state. She specializes in cases like yours. I can't afford the best. She owes me a favor. A big one. Tom met Nathan's eyes. I told her about your case. She's taking it pro bono. Nathan stared at him. Why are you helping me after everything? Because what I did was wrong. Tom's voice cracked. I fired you to save my company. I chose money over loyalty, and I've hated myself every day since. Tom. Let me do this, Nathan. Let me make it right. Nathan took the business card. Thank you. Go fight for your daughter. And win. Rachel Torres was exactly what Nathan needed. She was sharp, aggressive, fearless. She looked at Daniel Chen's folder and laughed. This is amateur hour, she said. Fabricated evidence, paid witnesses. I've seen better cases from divorce lawyers fresh out of law school. Can you beat it? I can destroy it. Rachel leaned forward. But I need you to do something first. Anything. I need you to document everything. Every moment with Emma. Every school pickup. Every bedtime story. Every meal. I want a paper trail so thick that no judge in the world would believe you're an unfit parent. Done. And I need Victoria to testify. Nathan's stomach tightened. Against her own father. Against the man trying to take your daughter. Rachel's eyes were steel. Can she do it? Nathan thought about Victoria. About the way she held Emma. About the tears in her eyes when Emma called her family. Yes, she can do it. Nathan went home and found Victoria teaching Emma how to make cookies. Flour was everywhere. Emma had more dough in her hair than in the bowl. Victoria was laughing that real laugh, the one that transformed her whole face. Daddy, look, we're making cookies. I see that. Tori says they're going to be the best cookies ever. They're going to be something, Victoria said, grinning at the chaos. I'm not sure what. Nathan watched them. His heart ached. This was his family. This was what Daniel Chen wanted to destroy. He would die before he let that happen. That night after Emma was asleep, Nathan told Victoria about Rachel Torres, about the plan, about what she needed to do. Victoria listened without interrupting. When he finished, she nodded once. I'll do it. Victoria, this means testifying against your father. In court. On the record. I know. He'll never forgive you. He already hasn't forgiven me for loving you. Victoria's jaw tightened. This isn't about him anymore. This is about Emma. About our family. She took Nathan's hands. I told you I'd stay. I meant it. I love you. I love you too. They sat together in the darkness, holding on to each other, like the world was trying to tear them apart. Because it was. 2 weeks later, the court date arrived. Nathan wore his only suit. Victoria sat beside him, rigid with tension. Emma was at school, protected from all of this. Daniel Chen sat across the courtroom with his army of lawyers. He looked confident, smug, like a man who had already won. The judge entered, an older woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. Judge Patricia Coleman. Rachel had researched her. She hated rich people who thought money could buy justice. This is a preliminary hearing, Judge Coleman announced. Mr. Chen, your attorneys have filed claims of child endangerment against Mr. Nathan Brooks. Present your evidence. Daniel's lead lawyer stood. He was slick, expensive, every word calculated. Your Honor, we have documented evidence of Mr. Brooks neglecting his daughter, missing school events, failing to provide adequate supervision. We have witness statements. I've read your witness statements. Judge Coleman's voice was ice. 2 of them are from people who work for Mr. Chen's companies. The third is from a neighbor who was paid $15,000 last month. Care to explain that? The lawyer's face twitched. Those payments were unrelated. Save it. Judge Coleman turned to Rachel. Ms. Torres, Your response. Rachel stood. Your Honor, my client is a devoted father. He has raised his daughter alone for 7 years. He has never missed a parent-teacher conference. He has never failed to pick her up from school. He has documentation of every single day. Objection. Daniel's lawyer cut in. This documentation could easily be fabricated. The way your documentation was fabricated. Rachel shot back. Your Honor, I have affidavits from Emma's teachers, from her pediatrician, from her school principal, all confirming that Mr. Brooks is an exemplary parent. She dropped a stack of papers on the judge's desk. I also have evidence that Mr. Chen has been systematically trying to destroy my client's life, getting him fired, blacklisting him from employment, pressuring family members to cut contact. Judge Coleman's eyes narrowed. Is this true, Mr. Chen? Daniel stood, smooth as silk. Your Honor, I'm simply protecting my daughter. This man appeared out of nowhere, and this man is the father of a 6-year-old girl. Judge Coleman's voice could have cut glass. A girl you are trying to remove from her only parent, on fabricated evidence. I object to the characterization. Sit down, Mr. Chen. Daniel sat. For the first time, his confident mask cracked. Ms. Torres, Judge Coleman continued, you mentioned Victoria Chen would testify. Is she present? I am, Your Honor. Victoria stood. Nathan saw her hands trembling, but her voice was steady. State your relationship to the parties. Nathan Brooks is my partner. Daniel Chen is my father. A murmur rippled through the courtroom. And you're willing to testify against your own father? Yes. Why? Victoria took a breath. Because my father is not trying to protect anyone. He's trying to control me. He's been controlling me my entire life. Who I date, who I befriend, who I work with. She looked at Daniel. He stared back with cold fury. When I met Nathan and Emma, I found something I've never had. A real family. People who love me for who I am. Not what I can give them. Not what I'm worth. Her voice cracked. My father can't accept that. He can't accept that I chose someone he didn't approve of. So he's trying to destroy them, the way he's destroyed everyone else I've ever cared about. That's a lie. Daniel shot to his feet. Everything I've done is for her. Sit down, Mr. Chen. Judge Coleman slammed her gavel. Daniel's lawyers pulled him back into his seat. Victoria kept going. My father has had Nathan fired. He's threatened his family. He's fabricated evidence to take his daughter away. All because I fell in love with him. Tears streamed down her face. Emma is the closest thing I will ever have to a child of my own. I can't have children. My father knows that. He's known it for years. And he's still trying to take her away from the only father she's ever known. She turned to the judge. I'm begging you, Your Honor. Don't let him win. Don't let him destroy another family. The courtroom was silent. Judge Coleman stared at Daniel Chen for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was quiet, controlled, deadly. Mr. Chen, I have sat on this bench for 23 years. I have seen parents fight for their children. I have seen grandparents fight for their grandchildren. But I have never seen someone use this court as a weapon against his own daughter. She gathered her papers. The claims against Nathan Brooks are dismissed, immediately. And Mr. Chen, if I ever see you in my courtroom again on fabricated charges, I will personally ensure you face perjury charges. She slammed her gavel. We're done here. Nathan couldn't breathe. It was over. They had won. Victoria collapsed against him. He caught her, held her, felt her tears soaking through his shirt. We did it, she whispered. We actually did it. We did it together. Across the courtroom, Daniel Chen gathered his things. His face was stone. He didn't look at Victoria. Didn't look at Nathan. He walked out without a word. Margaret Chen lingered by the door. She caught Victoria's eye, nodded once, then followed her husband out. Your mother helped us, Nathan said quietly. She gave me the information we needed. Victoria stared at the empty doorway. I know. Are you okay? Victoria turned to face him. Her eyes were red. Her makeup was ruined. She looked exhausted. But she was smiling. I'm better than okay. I'm free. They walked out of the courthouse together. Emma was waiting with Nathan's sister on the courthouse steps. Daddy! She ran toward them. Did you win? Did the bad man lose? Nathan scooped her up. The bad man lost, sweetheart. Forever. Forever. Emma squirmed around to look at Victoria. Does that mean Tori can stay? Victoria reached out and cupped Emma's face. I'm not going anywhere, baby girl. Ever. Emma threw her arms around both of them. Best day ever. Nathan held his girls close. His daughter, his partner, his family. They had survived the worst Daniel Chen could throw at them. Now they could finally start building their future. That night, Margaret Brooks called. Nathan stared at his mother's name on his phone. They hadn't spoken since the fight, since she'd attacked Victoria. He almost didn't answer, but something made him pick up. Nathan. His mother's voice was different, softer. I heard what happened in court. How? Jenny told me. She was there. Nathan's sister. Of course she'd been watching. I wanted to say. Margaret's voice broke. I'm sorry. For what I said to Victoria. For how I treated her. Nathan's grip tightened on the phone. I was so afraid of losing Sarah's memory. Margaret continued. So afraid that someone new would erase her. But that woman. She stood up in court and fought for your daughter. She gave up her family for yours. She was crying now. That's not someone who's trying to replace Sarah. That's someone who's trying to protect what Sarah left behind. Nathan felt his own eyes burning. Can I come over? Margaret asked. I'd like to apologize to Victoria, in person. Nathan looked across the room at Victoria, who was reading Emma a bedtime story on the couch. Let me ask her. He walked over, told Victoria what his mother had said. Victoria was quiet for a long moment. Okay, she finally said. She can come. Margaret arrived 20 minutes later. She stood in the doorway, smaller than Nathan remembered, older. Victoria met her in the hallway. Mrs. Brooks. Please. Margaret held up a hand. Let me say this. She took a breath. I was cruel to you. I said unforgivable things. I let my grief blind me to what you really are. And what am I? A miracle. Margaret's voice cracked. A miracle my son and granddaughter desperately needed. She stepped forward. I can never replace the family your father took from you. But if you'll let me, I'd like to try to be part of yours. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. She didn't say anything. She just stepped forward and hugged Margaret. The older woman broke down. 7 years of grief. 7 years of fear. 7 years of holding on too tight. All of it released in that moment. Nathan watched his mother and his partner embrace. 2 women who had started as enemies, now finding their way to family. Emma appeared at the top of the stairs. Grandma, are you crying? Margaret pulled back, wiping her eyes. Happy tears, sweetheart. Just happy tears. Emma bounded down the stairs. Grandma, did you meet Tori? She's gonna be my new mom. Margaret looked at Victoria. Victoria looked at Nathan. Is she now? Margaret said softly. If she'll have me, Victoria whispered. Nathan crossed the room, took Victoria's hand. She'll have you. We all will. Emma grabbed Victoria's other hand. Margaret placed her hand on Victoria's shoulder. 4 generations of broken people, finding their way to whole. This was what family looked like. Not perfect, not planned, just real. And that was enough. The peace lasted exactly 11 days. Nathan should have known. Happiness never stayed. Not in his life. Every time things started going well, something came crashing down. This time it started with a letter. Victoria found it in her mailbox. No return address, just her name typed in cold black letters. She opened it at Nathan's kitchen table while Emma ate breakfast. Nathan watched her face change, watched the color drain from her cheeks. What is it? Victoria didn't answer. She just handed him the letter. Nathan read it. His blood turned to ice. I know what you did. I know about the affair. I know about the lies, and soon everyone else will too. What affair? Nathan looked at Victoria. What is this talking about? I don't know. Victoria's voice was barely a whisper. I've never had an affair. I've never... Daddy? Emma looked up from her cereal. Why does Tori look scared? She's fine, sweetheart. Finish your breakfast. Nathan pulled Victoria into the hallway. This is him, isn't it? Your father. It has to be. Victoria's hands were shaking. But I don't understand. There's nothing to expose. I haven't done anything wrong. He doesn't need real evidence. He proved that in court. So what is he planning? Nathan looked at the letter again. The words burned into his brain. I don't know. But we need to find out. The answer came 3 days later. Nathan was picking Emma up from school when his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Check the news. His stomach dropped. He opened his browser, typed Victoria's name. The headline hit him like a physical blow. Chen Industries, CEO in secret relationship with married investor, exclusive photos. Nathan clicked the article. His hands were trembling. The photos showed Victoria at a restaurant, sitting across from a man Nathan didn't recognize, laughing, touching his hand across the table. The date stamp said 3 weeks ago. Nathan stared at the screen. His mind raced. 3 weeks ago. Victoria had been with him 3 weeks ago. She'd been at his house every night. She'd been helping Emma with her homework. She'd been sleeping in his bed. When would she have had time to know? He stopped himself. This was what Daniel wanted. This was the plan. Plant fake photos. Create doubt. Destroy them from the inside. Nathan wouldn't fall for it. Daddy? Emma tugged at his sleeve. Can we go home now? Yes, sweetheart, let's go. He drove home in silence. His mind was spinning, but he kept his face calm for Emma. When they walked through the door, Victoria was sitting on the couch. She'd been crying. Her phone was in her hand. You saw it, Nathan said. My entire company saw it. My board of directors is calling an emergency meeting. Victoria's voice cracked. They think I'm having an affair with Marcus Webb. Who's Marcus Webb? An investor. I had one meeting with him 3 weeks ago to discuss funding for a new project. Victoria stood up. That's all it was. A business meeting. I swear to God, Nathan. I believe you. Victoria stopped mid-sentence. What? I believe you. Nathan crossed the room and took her hands. This is your father. This is what he does. He manufactures lies and makes them look real. But the photos are fake, or taken out of context, or both. Victoria searched his face. You really believe me? Just like that. I know you. Nathan pulled her close. I know who you are. And you're not a liar. Victoria collapsed against his chest. What are we going to do? My company is falling apart. My reputation is, we fight back, the same way we did before. How? These photos are everywhere. Everyone believes them. Then we prove they're fake. Nathan pulled out his phone and called Rachel Torres. Rachel, we have a problem. Rachel arrived within the hour. She looked at the photos, looked at the article, looked at Victoria with sharp, calculating eyes. These are good, Rachel admitted. Professional. Whoever Daniel hired knows what they're doing. Can you prove they're fake? I can try. Rachel pulled out her laptop. The metadata on these images should tell us when and where they were actually taken. If they've been edited, there will be traces. She worked for 20 minutes. Nathan paced. Victoria sat frozen on the couch. Finally, Rachel looked up. Got it. What did you find? These photos were taken 3 weeks ago. That part is real, but they've been heavily edited. Rachel turned her laptop around. See this? The lighting on Victoria's face doesn't match the lighting in the restaurant. And here the reflection in the window shows a completely different angle than the camera should have captured. So they're fake. They're doctored. Someone took real photos of Victoria at a business meeting and edited them to look intimate. Victoria exhaled. Can you prove it? I can get an expert to testify, but it'll take time. I don't have time. Victoria's voice rose. My board is meeting tomorrow. If I don't have answers, they'll vote to remove me. Then we get ahead of it. Rachel stood up. I'll call my contact at the Boston Globe. We'll release a counter-story before your board meets. Will that be enough? It's a start. Rachel made her calls. Victoria made her calls. Nathan watched, feeling helpless. He couldn't fix this with his hands. He couldn't build something to solve it. All he could do was stand there and watch the woman he loved fight for her life. Emma appeared at his side. Daddy, why is everyone yelling on the phone? Nathan knelt down. Grown-up problems, sweetheart. Is Tori in trouble? A little bit, but we're going to help her. Emma thought about this. When I'm in trouble, you always make it better. I try. So make it better for Tori. Emma said it like it was obvious, like it was the simplest thing in the world. Nathan looked at his daughter, at her innocent faith that he could fix anything. He wished it were that simple. The counter-story ran the next morning. Rachel's expert analysis, the doctored photos, the evidence of manipulation. It wasn't enough. Victoria's board met at 9 a.m. By 10, she called Nathan with the verdict. They're suspending me. Nathan's heart sank. What? Pending investigation. They say they need to protect the company's reputation. Victoria's laugh was bitter. The company I built from nothing. The company that didn't exist before I created it. Victoria, I need to be alone right now. Come here. Let me... Nathan, please, just give me a few hours. The line went dead. Nathan stared at his phone. Every instinct screamed at him to go to her, to hold her, to tell her it would be okay. But he knew Victoria. She needed space to process. Space to feel the anger before she could move past it. He gave her 3 hours. Then he drove to her apartment. Victoria opened the door. She looked like she hadn't slept, hadn't eaten. Her eyes were red and hollow. I told you I needed time. You've had time. Nathan stepped inside. Now you need me. Victoria didn't argue. She just let him in. They sat on her couch in silence. Nathan held her hand. He didn't try to fix it. Didn't try to offer solutions. He just sat with her in the wreckage of everything she'd built. I should have listened, Victoria finally said. To who? My father, years ago. He told me the company would consume everything, every relationship, every happiness. He said I'd end up alone. He was wrong. Was he? Look at me, Nathan. I've lost my board. I've lost my reputation. I've probably lost my company. Victoria's voice broke. The only thing I have left is you and Emma, and every day I'm terrified I'll lose you too. You won't. How do you know? Nathan turned to face her. Because I'm not going anywhere. I don't care about your company. I don't care about your money. I care about you, the real you, the one who sits on my floor and draws terrible ducks with my daughter. Victoria almost smiled. They were rabbits. They looked like potatoes. Potato rabbits. Whatever they were, Emma loved them. Nathan cupped her face. And I love you. Company or no company, money or no money, reputation or no reputation. Victoria's tears fell. I don't deserve you. You deserve everything. Nathan kissed her forehead. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving it. Victoria leaned into him. For a long moment they just held each other. Then Victoria's phone rang. She looked at the screen, frowned. It's my mother. Answer it. Victoria hesitated, then picked up. Mom. Nathan couldn't hear what Margaret Chen was saying, but he watched Victoria's face, watched it shift from exhaustion to confusion to shock. Are you serious, Mom? Are you? Victoria's voice cracked. Okay, yes, I understand. Thank you. She hung up. What happened? Victoria looked at him with something he hadn't seen in days. Hope. My mother just bought 40% of my company's shares. Nathan blinked. What? She's been secretly buying them for months. She didn't tell my father. She didn't tell anyone. Victoria's hands were shaking. She just called to tell me that she's going to vote against my suspension, and she's bringing 3 other board members with her. Your mother did that behind your father's back. She said she's done watching him destroy me. Victoria started crying again. She said it's time she started being my mother instead of his wife. Nathan pulled her close. So what happens now? Emergency board meeting. Tomorrow. Victoria pulled back. If my mother's votes hold, they'll have to reinstate me. And if they don't hold, then I lose everything. The next 24 hours were the longest of Nathan's life. Victoria spent all night on the phone, calling board members, calling lawyers, calling anyone who might help. Nathan stayed with her, made her eat, made her sleep for at least a few hours. Held her when the panic attacks came. Emma helped in her own way. She drew a picture of Victoria as a superhero, cape and everything. This is you, Emma explained. You're Super Tory. You always win. Victoria hung it on her refrigerator, right next to the family portrait. The board meeting started at 2 p.m. Nathan waited in Victoria's apartment. Emma was at school. He couldn't be in the meeting, but he could be here, ready, waiting. His phone buzzed every few minutes. Texts from Victoria. 2:15 p.m. My father's lawyers are here. They're trying to delay the vote. 2:32 p.m. 3 board members are wavering. My mother is fighting them. 2:48 p.m. The vote is starting. Then silence. Nathan stared at his phone. Minutes felt like hours. 3:17 p.m. We won. Nathan's heart exploded. He called Victoria immediately. What happened? My mother happened. Victoria was laughing and crying at the same time. She stood up in front of the entire board and told them everything. What my father did. The fake photos. The manipulation. Everything. And they believed her. She brought evidence. Bank records. Emails. Proof that my father paid someone to doctor those photos. Victoria's voice broke. She betrayed him, Nathan. Her own husband. For me. What does that mean for your father? I don't know, and right now I don't care. Victoria took a shaky breath. I just want to see you. I want to hold Emma. I want to come home. Nathan's heart swelled. Then come home. Victoria arrived an hour later. Nathan had picked up Emma from school. They were both waiting by the door when Victoria's car pulled up. Emma broke free first. She sprinted across the lawn and launched herself at Victoria before she could even close her car door. Super Tory. You won. Victoria caught her, held her tight. I won, baby girl. We won. I knew you would. Superheroes always win. Nathan reached them. He pulled both of them into his arms. The 3 of them stood there tangled together, not wanting to let go. It's over, Victoria whispered. Not quite. Nathan said. Victoria pulled back. What do you mean? Nathan took her hand, led her inside. Emma bounced along beside them, still chattering about superheroes and victories. In the living room, Nathan stopped. Victoria, these past few months have been the hardest of my life. And the best. Victoria's brow furrowed. Nathan, what are you— Let me finish. He took both her hands. I watched you fight for us. I watched you give up your family, your reputation, your peace. All for me. For Emma. For this family we're building. I'd do it again. I know you would. Nathan's voice cracked. That's why I need to ask you something. He reached into his pocket. Victoria's breath caught. Nathan. He dropped to one knee. Emma squealed. Daddy. What are you doing? I'm asking Tori a very important question. Nathan looked up at Victoria. Victoria Chen, will you marry me? Victoria's hand flew to her mouth. Tears streamed down her face. You're serious. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. But my company, my father, I don't care about any of that. I care about you. Nathan opened the ring box. I bought this 2 weeks ago. I was going to wait until everything calmed down, but I realized something today. What? Things are never going to calm down. Life is chaos. It's messy and painful and unpredictable, but I don't want to face that chaos without you. Emma tugged at Victoria's sleeve. Say yes, Tori. Say yes. Victoria laughed through her tears. Yes. Nathan's heart stopped. Yes. Yes, I'll marry you. Yes, I'll be your wife. Yes to everything. Nathan slid the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly. He stood and kissed her, deep and long and full of every emotion he couldn't put into words. Emma wedged herself between them. Group hug, group hug. They picked her up together. 3 people tangled and laughing and crying all at once. Nathan thought his heart might burst. That night after Emma was asleep, Nathan and Victoria sat on the porch. Victoria kept looking at her ring, turning it in the light. It's beautiful, she said. It was my grandmother's. Victoria looked up. What? My mother gave it to me, after she came to apologize that night. Nathan took her hand. She said she'd been saving it, waiting for the right person. Victoria's eyes filled with fresh tears. She barely knows me. She knows enough. She knows you make me happy. She knows Emma loves you. That's all that matters to her now. Victoria leaned against his shoulder. What happens next? We get married. We raise Emma. We build a life. What about my father? Nathan was quiet for a moment. What about him? He won't stop. You know that. He lost this battle, but he'll find another way. He always does. Then we'll fight him again. And again. As many times as it takes. And if we lose— Nathan turned to face her. Victoria, look at me. She looked. We've already won. We have each other. We have Emma. We have a family. Nathan kissed her forehead. Your father can take your company. He can take your money. He can take everything you own. But he can never take this. He can never take us. Victoria closed her eyes. Let his words sink in. I used to be so afraid of him, she whispered. My whole life. Everything I did was to please him, or to prove him wrong. I never did anything just because I wanted to. And now I don't care what he thinks. I don't care if he approves. I don't care if he ever speaks to me again. Victoria opened her eyes. I have you. I have Emma. That's enough. That's more than enough. They sat in silence watching the stars. For the first time in months, Victoria felt something she'd almost forgotten. Peace. But peace never lasted. Not in their world. The next morning, Nathan's phone rang at 6 a.m. He grabbed it groggy. Hello. Nathan Brooks. A voice he didn't recognize. Official. Cold. Yes. This is Detective Morrison with the Boston Police Department. I'm calling about Victoria Chen. Nathan sat up. His blood ran cold. What about her? She's been named in an investigation. Financial fraud. Embezzlement. I need to speak with her immediately. Nathan's world tilted. That's impossible. Victoria would never... I'm not asking for your opinion, Mr. Brooks. I'm asking for her location. Nathan looked across the bed. Victoria was stirring her new engagement ring, glinting in the morning light. She's right here. Don't let her leave. We're on our way. The line went dead. Nathan stared at his phone. This wasn't over. This was just beginning. Victoria woke to Nathan's pale face. What's wrong? What happened? The police are coming. Police, why? Nathan told her about the call. Watched her face go from confusion to horror to fury. Embezzlement. That's insane. I've never stolen a penny in my life. I know. This is him, my father. He's not finished. I know that too. Victoria threw off the covers. I need to call Rachel. I need... The doorbell rang. They both froze. Nathan moved first. Stay here. I'll handle it. Nathan? Stay here. He walked to the front door, took a breath, opened it. Two detectives stood on his porch, a man and a woman, both stone-faced. Mr. Brooks, is Victoria Chen here? Yes. But before you speak to her, I need to know what evidence you have. That's not how this works. It is if you want cooperation. Nathan didn't flinch. I've dealt with your department before. I know my rights. The detectives exchanged a look. The woman spoke. We received documents showing Ms. Chen has been transferring company funds to offshore accounts, large amounts, over several years. Those documents are fake. That's for us to determine. Her father fabricated evidence against her once. He's doing it again. Mr. Brooks, we're not here to argue. We're here to question Ms. Chen. Victoria appeared behind Nathan. I'm Victoria Chen, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Her voice was steady. But my lawyer will be present, and any evidence you have should be examined by an independent forensics expert. The detectives looked at each other again. That's your right, the man said. We can schedule a formal interview at the station. Fine, this afternoon. 2 o'clock. Don't leave town, Ms. Chen. I'm not going anywhere. The detectives left. Nathan closed the door, turned to Victoria. How are you so calm? I'm not calm. I'm terrified. Victoria's hands were shaking. But I've learned something these past few months. What? Fear is a weapon. If I show it, he wins. Victoria lifted her chin. I'm done letting him win. Nathan pulled her close. We'll get through this. Together. Always together. From the top of the stairs, Emma's voice drifted down. Daddy Tori. Why were there police at our door? Nathan and Victoria looked at each other. Grown-up stuff, sweetheart, Nathan called up. Is Tori in trouble again? Victoria walked to the bottom of the stairs. Looked up at Emma's worried face. Yes, baby girl, I am. But your daddy and I are going to fix it. Promise? I promise. Emma considered this, then nodded. Okay. But you should probably have some cereal first. Daddy says breakfast is the most important meal. Victoria laughed. A real laugh, despite everything. You're right. Let's have cereal. The three of them ate breakfast together. Talked about school. Talked about Emma's upcoming art project. Talked about anything except the storm that was coming. For 30 minutes, they were just a family. Nathan wanted to freeze that moment forever. But time moved forward. It always did. At 1:30, Rachel Torres arrived. She looked like she hadn't slept either. I pulled the documents they're using, Rachel said. They're good, professional. But I've seen Daniel's work before. Can you prove they're fake? I'm working on it. But Nathan, Rachel hesitated. This is different. These aren't doctored photos. These are financial records, bank transfers, transaction logs. If we can't prove they're fabricated, Victoria could go to prison. Yes. Nathan's stomach turned to ice. Victoria stood rigid. How long? Embezzlement charges, depending on the amount, 10 to 15 years. Nathan felt Victoria's hand find his, squeeze tight. Then we prove they're fake, Nathan said. We find the real records. We find whoever Daniel paid to create these. That could take months. Then we have months. Rachel nodded slowly. I'll do everything I can. So will we. At 2 o'clock, Victoria walked into the police station. Rachel was beside her. Nathan waited in the lobby. He couldn't go in, but he wasn't leaving the building. The interview lasted 3 hours. Nathan paced, checked his phone, paced more. Finally, Victoria emerged. Pale but composed. What happened? They have a lot of questions, and a lot of evidence. Victoria made air quotes. But Rachel caught several inconsistencies. Transaction dates that don't match my travel records, account numbers that don't exist in any real database. So it's working. Slowly, but yes. Rachel joined them. I've requested a forensic audit of all the documents. The DA agreed, but it'll take time. How much time? 2 weeks minimum, maybe more. Victoria sagged against Nathan. 2 weeks of this hanging over me. 2 weeks to find the truth. Nathan corrected. We've survived worse. Have we? Nathan lifted her chin, made her look at him. We survived your father's first attack. We survived the fake photos. We survived the board meeting. We're going to survive this too. You really believe that? I know it. Victoria's eyes searched his, looking for doubt, looking for hesitation. She found none. Okay, she whispered. Okay. They walked out of the police station together. The sun was setting, orange light spilling across the parking lot. Nathan stopped walking. What is it? Victoria asked. I need you to know something. What? Whatever happens next, whether this takes 2 weeks or 2 years or 10 years, I'm going to be right here, beside you, every step. Nathan. I mean it. I don't care about the investigation. I don't care about your father. I don't care about any of it. Nathan took her face in his hands. You're going to be my wife. Emma's going to have a mother. We're going to be a family. Nothing is going to change that. Victoria's tears fell. I love you. I love you too. They kissed in the parking lot of the police station. The worst possible place. The worst possible time. But also the best. Because sometimes love didn't wait for perfect moments. Sometimes it showed up in the middle of chaos and held on. The forensic audit took 3 days longer than expected. Nathan watched Victoria unravel piece by piece. She stopped eating. She stopped sleeping. She checked her phone every 30 seconds, waiting for news that never came. You need to rest, Nathan told her on day 5. I can't. Victoria. If I stop moving, I'll fall apart. Her eyes were hollow. I can't afford to fall apart right now. Emma noticed too. She started leaving drawings on Victoria's pillow, hearts and flowers and stick figures holding hands, little notes that said, I love you, Tori, in crooked crayon letters. Victoria cried every time she found one. On day 8, Rachel called. We found something. Nathan put the phone on speaker. Victoria grabbed his arm so hard her nails left marks. What is it? The financial documents Daniel submitted, they were created 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago, but they're supposed to be years old. Exactly. The metadata doesn't lie. Someone created these files recently and backdated them. Rachel's voice was triumphant. It's proof of fabrication. Victoria collapsed onto the couch. Oh my God! That's not all. We traced the creator of these files, A man named Gregory Walsh. He works at a financial consulting firm that, wait for it, is owned by a subsidiary of Chen Industries. Nathan's jaw tightened. Daniel's company. Directly connected. I've already turned this over to the DA. They're opening an investigation into Daniel Chen for evidence tampering and fraud. Victoria started crying. Not sad tears. Relief. It's over, she managed. The embezzlement charges are being dropped. The DA will make an official announcement tomorrow. Rachel paused. But Victoria, your father is in serious trouble now. They're talking federal charges. Victoria went silent. Nathan watched her face, watched the emotions war across it. Relief, guilt, something darker. Victoria. I don't know how to feel. Her voice was barely audible. He's my father. He tried to destroy me, but he's still my father. Nathan sat beside her, took her hand. You don't have to know how to feel right now. You just have to breathe. Victoria leaned into him. I've wanted to be free of him my whole life, and now that it's happening I feel… What? Empty. Nathan held her tighter. He didn't have words for this. Some wounds ran too deep for words. The DA's announcement came the next morning. Victoria watched it on her laptop. Nathan beside her. Emma at school. After a thorough forensic investigation, all charges against Victoria Chen have been dropped. Evidence indicates that financial documents submitted in this case were fabricated. A separate investigation has been opened into the source of these fraudulent materials. Victoria exhaled. It's really over. The charges are over, Nathan corrected. The fallout is just beginning. He was right. Within hours, the news cycle exploded. Daniel Chen, billionaire philanthropist, titan of industry, was being investigated for fraud, for evidence tampering, for using the justice system as a weapon against his own daughter. Reporters swarmed Victoria's apartment building, Nathan's house, Emma's school. Ms. Chen, did you know your father was fabricating evidence? Mr. Brooks, how does it feel to be engaged to a woman whose father tried to send her to prison? Is it true that Daniel Chen also tried to take custody of your daughter? Nathan pushed through them, shielded Emma with his body, got her into the car, and drove away before they could follow. Daddy, why are those people yelling? They're confused, sweetheart. About what? Grown-up things. Is Tori okay? Nathan looked in the rearview mirror, at his daughter's worried face. Tori's going to be fine. We all are. Emma nodded, then went quiet. Nathan drove, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. This wasn't protection anymore. This was war. Victoria called that afternoon. My mother wants to see me. Nathan's gut tightened. Margaret, why? She didn't say, but she sounded scared. Do you want to go? I don't know. Victoria's voice wavered. What if it's a trap? What if my father is using her? What does your gut tell you? Silence. Then, my gut says she's alone and terrified. Then go. I'll come with you. Nathan, you don't have to. I'm coming. They met Margaret at a coffee shop downtown, away from the reporters, away from Daniel's reach. Margaret looked 10 years older than the last time Nathan had seen her. Her hands trembled around her cup. Her eyes were red. Thank you for coming, she whispered. Victoria sat across from her, rigid, guarded. What do you want, Mom? I want to apologize. You've already apologized, multiple times. Not for this. Margaret took a shaky breath. I knew about the financial documents. I knew what your father was planning. Victoria went pale. What? I didn't help him. I swear I didn't. But I heard him on the phone. Heard him talking to that man Gregory Walsh. I knew what they were doing. And you didn't stop them. I was afraid. Tears spilled down Margaret's cheeks. I've been afraid of your father for 35 years. He controls everything. Our money, our friends, Our reputation. I didn't know how to... You let him try to send me to prison. Victoria's voice cracked. Your own daughter. And you just... watched. I thought if I gave you the evidence, if I helped you win the board vote, that would be enough. I thought he would stop. He didn't stop. I know. Margaret was sobbing now. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Victoria stood up. Her chair scraped back. I can't do this. Victoria, please. You had a choice. You could have warned me. You could have gone to the police. You could have done anything except watch while he tried to destroy my life. I was scared. I'm scared too. I've been scared every single day since I met Nathan. But I didn't run. I didn't hide. I fought. Victoria's voice broke. You're supposed to be my mother. You're supposed to protect me. But you've never protected me. Not once. Not from him. Margaret reached for her. I can change. I can... It's too late. Victoria walked out. Nathan stayed for a moment, looked at Margaret's devastated face. Give her time, he said quietly. She'll never forgive me. You don't know that. I know my daughter. She forgives slowly and forgets never. Nathan didn't argue. He couldn't. He followed Victoria outside. She was standing by the car, not crying, not moving, just standing. I don't have a mother anymore, she said when he reached her. Not really, I never did. Nathan pulled her close. You have Emma, you have me, you have a family. It's not the same. No, it's not. Nathan lifted her chin. But it's real, and it's yours. Victoria looked at him, searched his face. How do you do it? Do what? Stay so steady, through all of this. Nathan thought about the question. Really thought. Because I know what matters, he finally said. I know what's worth fighting for, and I know that at the end of all this chaos, you're going to be standing next to me. That's all I need. Victoria kissed him, soft and desperate and grateful. Let's go home. Let's go home. 3 days later, Daniel Chen was arrested. Nathan heard about it on the news. Victoria heard about it from her lawyer. Federal agents took him from his office this morning. He's being charged with fraud, evidence tampering, and obstruction of justice. Victoria sat down slowly. How long? If convicted, 10 to 15 years. Nathan watched her process this. Watched the emotions flicker across her face. What happens to his company? The board is meeting tomorrow. They'll probably remove him as CEO. Your mother might take over temporarily. My mother can't run that company. Someone has to. Victoria went quiet. Nathan could see her mind working, see the calculations happening behind her eyes. Victoria. I need to think. She walked upstairs, closed the bedroom door. Nathan let her go. Some decisions had to be made alone. An hour later, Victoria came back down. I'm going to take over Chen Industries. Nathan blinked. What? Someone has to. And despite everything, it's still my family's company. My grandfather built it. My mother can't handle it. And if I don't step in, the board will bring in some outsider who doesn't care about anything except profit margins. Victoria, you have your own company. My company can survive without me for a while. Chen Industries can't. Nathan studied her face. Are you sure about this? No, but I'm doing it anyway. Why? Victoria took a breath. Because my father spent his whole life using that company as a weapon. Against me. Against everyone who got close to him. I want to change that. I want to make it something he would never recognize. That's a lot of pressure. I know. You'd be running 2 companies. I know. And planning a wedding, and being a mother to Emma. Victoria's face softened at Emma's name. I know it's crazy. I know it doesn't make sense, but... I didn't say that. Victoria stopped. What? Nathan crossed to her, took her hands. I said it's a lot. I didn't say you couldn't do it. Because you can. You're the strongest person I've ever met. Nathan, I'm with you, whatever you decide. If you want to take over Chen Industries, I'll support you. If you want to burn it to the ground, I'll bring the matches. Victoria laughed. A real laugh. The first in days. I don't want to burn it down. Then build it up. Make it yours. Victoria kissed him. What did I do to deserve you? You asked a stranger to be your husband in a cheap Italian restaurant. Best decision I ever made. Mine too. The Chen Industries board meeting happened 3 days later. Victoria walked in like she owned the place, because she was about to. Nathan waited at home with Emma. He tried to work on freelance projects, tried to focus, but his mind kept drifting to that boardroom. Daddy, is Tori going to be a big boss now? Nathan looked at his daughter. Yes, sweetheart. A very big boss. Of Grandpa Daniel's company. Nathan winced at the word grandpa. Emma had never met Daniel, probably never would. Yes, his company. Is she going to fire all the mean people? I think she's going to make it a better place. Emma nodded seriously. Good. Mean people shouldn't be bosses. Nathan smiled despite everything. You're absolutely right. His phone rang. Victoria. How did it go? I'm the interim CEO of Chen Industries. Nathan exhaled. How do you feel? Terrified, exhilarated, nauseous. Sounds about right. Nathan, there's something else. His stomach tightened. What? The board wants to meet you. Me, why? Because you're going to be my husband. Because you're going to be connected to this company whether you like it or not. And because... Victoria hesitated. They want to offer you a job. What kind of job? Head of the architecture division. They're expanding into real estate development. They need someone to lead the design team. Nathan was silent. You don't have to say yes, Victoria said quickly. I know it's complicated. I know working for the same company might be weird. I'll think about it. Really? Really? Silence. Then Victoria's voice softer now. Thank you. For everything. Come home. Emma made you a congratulations card. It has glitter. Victoria laughed. I'll be there in an hour. I'll make dinner. I love you. I love you too. Nathan hung up, looked at his daughter who was spreading glitter across the kitchen table with wild abandon. His life had changed completely in 3 months. From a broke single dad getting rejected at restaurants to the fiancé of a woman who now ran 2 companies. It didn't feel real, but it was. Victoria came home to glitter everywhere and spaghetti on the stove. Emma tackled her at the door. Congratulations, Super Tori. Victoria caught her, spinning her around. Thank you, baby girl. I made you a card. It has sparkles. I see that. You also have sparkles in your hair. Daddy says that's called collateral damage. Victoria looked at Nathan over Emma's head. Collateral damage. Glitter is the herpes of craft supplies. It never goes away. Victoria burst out laughing. They ate dinner together. Talked about Victoria's new role, about Emma's day at school, about whether they should get a dog. A big dog, Emma insisted. Like really big, like a horse. Dogs that size don't fit in houses, sweetheart. Then we get a bigger house. Nathan and Victoria exchanged looks. Actually, Victoria said slowly, we might need to talk about that. Nathan's fork stopped halfway to his mouth. About what? About where we're going to live, when we get married. Emma bounced in her seat. Are we getting a new house, with a yard and a pool and a horse dog? There's no such thing as a horse dog, Nathan said, but his mind was racing. Victoria took his hand under the table. My apartment isn't big enough for 3 people. Your house is wonderful, but it's far from both companies. I was thinking maybe we could look for something together. You want to buy a house with me. I want to build a home with you. Victoria squeezed his hand. Something that's ours, not mine or yours, ours. Nathan looked at his daughter, at the woman he loved, at the future spreading out before them. Let's do it. Emma screamed so loud the neighbors probably called the police. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Victoria ran 2 companies. Nathan started looking at houses. Emma told everyone at school that she was getting a new mom, a new house, and possibly a horse dog. Nathan accepted the job at Chen Industries. It felt strange at first working for his fiancée's company, but the team was good, the projects were exciting, and for the first time in years, he felt like he was building something that mattered. One night, Victoria came home late, later than usual. Nathan was waiting up. Emma was long asleep. What happened? Victoria sat down heavily. I saw my father today. Nathan's blood went cold. What? His lawyers arranged a meeting at the detention center. You went to see him alone. I had to. Victoria's voice was hollow. I had to see him. To understand. Understand what? Why he did all of this. Why he tried so hard to destroy me. Nathan sat beside her. What did he say? He said... Victoria's voice cracked. He said, I was never supposed to be successful. He said he groomed me to take over the company eventually, but on his terms, under his control. When I broke away when I built my own company without him, he couldn't handle it. That's insane. It gets worse. Victoria looked at Nathan with tears in her eyes. He said the reason he hated you so much wasn't because you were poor or because you had a daughter. It was because you made me happy. Nathan went still. He said he's never seen me truly happy. Never. My whole life. And when I met you, when he saw me laugh and smile and actually live, he couldn't stand it. He said watching me be happy with you was like watching his investment walk away. Investment. That's what I am to him. An investment. A legacy. Not a daughter. Never a daughter. Victoria was crying now. He said if I had married someone he chose someone he could control, he would have let me run the company decades ago. But I kept choosing wrong. I kept choosing people who made me feel instead of people who made sense. Nathan pulled her close. That's not wrong. That's human. He doesn't understand human. Victoria sobbed into his chest. He never has. He never will. Nathan held her. Let her cry. Let years of pain pour out. What are you going to do? He finally asked. I'm going to testify. Nathan pulled back. What? At his trial. I'm going to testify against him. Tell the jury everything, every manipulation, every threat, every attempt to control my life. Victoria, that's necessary. Victoria's voice hardened. He needs to go to prison. Not just for what he did to me, but for all the other people he's destroyed over the years, all the businesses he crushed, all the lives he ruined. Are you sure you can handle it? No, but I'm going to do it anyway. Nathan looked at her, at this woman who had been through hell and kept standing. I'll be right there, in the front row, every day. Victoria grabbed his face and kissed him. I don't deserve you. You deserve everything. The trial started 6 weeks later. Nathan sat in the front row every day, just like he promised. Margaret sat on the other side of the courtroom, alone and broken. Victoria took the stand on day 3. She spoke for 4 hours, about her childhood, about her father's control, about the men he'd chased away, about the lies he'd told, about the evidence he'd fabricated. The jury listened in silence. When Victoria broke down describing how Daniel had tried to take Emma away, one juror started crying. By the time she finished, the outcome was clear. Daniel Chen was found guilty on all counts. Sentencing came a week later. 12 years. Federal prison. No possibility of parole for 8. Nathan watched them take Daniel away in handcuffs. Watched the man who had tried to destroy them reduced to nothing. Victoria didn't watch. She was already walking out of the courthouse. Nathan caught up with her on the steps. It's over. I know. How do you feel? Victoria stopped. Turned to face him. I feel like I can finally breathe. For the first time in my life. Nathan took her hand. Then breathe. Victoria closed her eyes, inhaled deeply, exhaled. When she opened them, there were tears, but not sad tears, free tears. "Let's go home," she whispered. "Let's go home." 3 months later, they stood in front of their new house. It wasn't a mansion. It wasn't a tiny starter home. It was something in between a 4-bedroom colonial with a big backyard and a porch swing and enough room for a family to grow. Emma ran through the empty rooms, her voice echoing off the bare walls. "My room is purple, Daddy. My room is purple." Nathan smiled. "You picked the color, sweetheart." "I know it's purple." Victoria stood beside Nathan, watching Emma spin in circles. "We're really doing this," Victoria said. "We really are. 3 months ago, I was facing prison. Now I'm standing in our house watching our daughter plan her purple room. Life is strange. Life is wonderful." Nathan pulled her close. "You know what's more wonderful?" "What?" "In 2 weeks, you're going to be my wife." Victoria's breath caught. The wedding. In all the chaos, it had felt distant, abstract. But now, it was real. 2 weeks away. "Are you ready?" she asked. "I've been ready since Christmas night." Victoria smiled, that real smile, the one that changed everything. "Me too." Emma came barreling back. "Are we going to live here forever?" Nathan scooped her up. "Forever and ever." "Is Tori going to be my mommy forever?" Victoria's eyes filled with tears. Forever and ever. Best day ever. She wriggled free and ran off to explore more rooms. Nathan and Victoria stood together in their empty house, their future spreading out around them like blank walls waiting to be filled. "We should probably get furniture," Victoria said. "Probably. And paint Emma's room purple." "Obviously. And figure out where the horse dog is going to sleep." Nathan laughed. "There's no such thing as a horse dog." Emma seems pretty convinced. Emma is 6. She's also convinced that clouds are made of marshmallows. Victoria grinned. "Aren't they?" Nathan kissed her, long and slow. "I love you." "I love you too." From somewhere in the house, Emma's voice echoed. "Daddy, Tori, there's a squirrel in the backyard. Can we keep it?" Nathan sighed. "We're not keeping a squirrel." "Why not?" "Because squirrels bite." "I'll name him Bitey." Victoria was laughing so hard she had to lean against the wall. "Welcome to parenthood," Nathan said. "Best job I ever had." They walked toward Emma's voice together. A family, finally whole. The morning of the wedding arrived faster than Nathan expected. He stood in the church dressing room staring at himself in the mirror. The suit fit perfectly. His hair was combed, his shoes were polished, and his hands wouldn't stop shaking. "You look like you're about to pass out." Nathan turned. His sister Jenny stood in the doorway grinning. "I might." "Deep breaths, big brother. You've survived worse than this." "Have I?" Jenny walked over and straightened his tie. "You survived raising Emma alone for 7 years. You survived Daniel Chen trying to destroy your life. You survived reporters and lawsuits and fake evidence." She stepped back. "I think you can survive saying, 'I do.'" Nathan laughed, despite his nerves. "When you put it that way." "How's Emma?" "Bouncing off the walls. She's been asking every 5 minutes when she gets to throw the flower petals. That's her favorite part. It's her only part. She's been practicing for weeks." Jenny's smile softened. "You're really doing this. I'm really doing this. Sarah would be proud of you." Nathan's throat tightened. He hadn't expected Jenny to bring up Sarah. Not today. "You think so?" "I know so." Jenny took his hand. "She loved you more than anything. All she ever wanted was for you to be happy. And Victoria makes you happy." "She does." "Then stop shaking and go marry her." Nathan pulled his sister into a hug. "Thank you. For everything." "Don't thank me yet. Wait until you see my toast. I'm planning to embarrass you thoroughly." Nathan groaned. Of course you are. A knock on the door interrupted them. Mr. Brooks, it's time. Nathan took a breath, steadied himself. Let's do this. The church was full. Nathan walked to the front, Jenny beside him, until she split off to take her seat. He stood at the altar, heart pounding. He saw familiar faces in the crowd, his mother Margaret Brooks already crying. Tom, his former boss, who had become something like a friend again. Rachel Torres, who had saved them more times than he could count. And in the front row, Emma, wearing her flower girl dress, clutching her basket of petals like it contained the secrets of the universe. The music changed. Everyone stood, and Victoria appeared. Nathan forgot how to breathe. She was beautiful, more beautiful than he'd ever seen her. But it wasn't the dress or the hair or the makeup. It was her face. The way she looked at him as she walked down the aisle. Like he was everything. Like he was home. Victoria reached the altar. Nathan took her hands. "Hi," she whispered. "Hi." "You're shaking." "So are you." Victoria laughed softly. "I guess we're both nervous." "I guess we are." The minister cleared his throat. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the union of Nathan Brooks and Victoria Chen." Nathan barely heard the words. He was too busy staring at Victoria, too busy trying to memorize this moment. "Nathan and Victoria have written their own vows," the minister continued. "Nathan, you may begin." Nathan's throat went dry. He'd written his vows weeks ago, practiced them hundreds of times. But now, standing here looking at Victoria, the words felt inadequate. He spoke anyway. "Victoria, a few months ago I was sitting alone in a restaurant on Christmas night. I had just been rejected again. I was convinced that no one would ever want me, that I was too broken, too complicated, too much." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "Then you asked me the craziest question I've ever heard. You asked if I could be your new husband, and I thought you were insane." A soft laugh rippled through the church. "But you weren't insane. You were brave. You saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself. You saw a man worth loving, a father worth trusting, a partner worth fighting for." Nathan's voice cracked. "You didn't just give me a second chance at love. You gave Emma a mother. You gave our family hope. You gave me a reason to believe that happiness wasn't something that only happened to other people." He squeezed her hands. "I promise to spend the rest of my life being worthy of you. I promise to stand beside you through every storm, every challenge, every impossible day. I promise to love you, even when you draw terrible rabbits." Victoria laughed through her tears. "And I promise that no matter what happens, I will never stop choosing you. Today, tomorrow, forever." Victoria wiped her eyes, took a breath. "Nathan, when I walked into that restaurant on Christmas night, I wasn't looking for love. I had given up on love. I had convinced myself that I was better off alone, that needing someone was weakness." She paused. "Then I heard your date say those horrible things to you. I watched you sit there heartbroken, and I saw myself. I saw every rejection I'd ever faced, every man who had called me broken, every moment I had felt worthless." Her voice trembled. "I asked you to be my husband because I was desperate, because I thought maybe if we pretended hard enough we could both stop being so alone." Nathan's chest ached. "But I was wrong. This isn't pretend. This is the most real thing I've ever experienced. You taught me that needing someone isn't weakness. It's courage. It's saying, I can't do this alone and I don't want to." Victoria looked at Emma sitting in the front row with tears streaming down her face. "You gave me a daughter, a real daughter. Someone who calls me Tori and draws me into her family pictures and asks me to be her mom like it's the most natural thing in the world." She turned back to Nathan. "I promise to love you through everything. The good days and the terrible days. The victories and the defeats. I promise to never run when things get hard. I promise to always come home to you and Emma." Her voice broke. "And I promise that for the rest of my life, I will thank God every single day that I was brave enough to ask a stranger in a restaurant to be my husband." The minister smiled. "Do you, Nathan Brooks, take Victoria Chen to be your lawfully wedded wife?" "I do." "Do you, Victoria Chen, take Nathan Brooks to be your lawfully wedded husband?" "I do." "Then by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." Nathan pulled Victoria close, kissed her like the entire world was watching. Because it was. When they pulled apart, Emma was already running toward them. "Is it my turn now? Can I throw the petals now?" The entire church burst into laughter. Victoria scooped Emma up. "You already threw them, sweetheart, during the ceremony. I want to throw more. There are no more petals. That's not fair." Nathan took Emma from Victoria's arms. "How about we throw some rice instead?" "What's rice?" "Little white things. You can throw them at people." Emma's eyes lit up. "I can throw things at people. Just today. Special occasion. Best wedding ever." The reception was chaos. Happy chaos, but chaos nonetheless. Emma ran between tables, showing everyone her flower girl basket like it was an Olympic medal. Margaret Brooks cried through 3 consecutive speeches. Jenny's toast was exactly as embarrassing as promised, complete with photos of Nathan's teenage haircuts. Nathan didn't care. He was too busy watching Victoria. She was glowing. Not the fake glow of someone performing happiness, but the real glow of someone who had finally found where they belonged. "You're staring," Victoria said. "Can you blame me? We're married now. You're supposed to stop staring." "I don't think that's how it works." Victoria grinned. "How does it work?" "I get to stare at you forever. It's in the vows." "I don't remember that part." "It was implied." Victoria leaned in and kissed him. "I love you, husband." "I love you too, wife." Emma appeared between them. "Are you guys being gross again?" "Yes," Nathan said. "Very gross." "Ew." Emma wrinkled her nose. "Can I have more cake?" "You've already had 3 pieces." "But it's a special occasion." Victoria laughed. "She has a point. Don't encourage her." "One more piece won't hurt." Emma pumped her fist. "Yes, Tori is the best mom ever." She ran off toward the cake table. Nathan and Victoria watched her go. "Best mom ever," Victoria repeated softly. "You are." "I'm not even officially." "You are." Nathan took her hand. "You've been her mom since the day you sat on our floor and let her teach you how to draw." Victoria's eyes glistened. "I never thought I'd have this." "Have what?" "A family. A real family. People who love me for who I am instead of what I can give them." "You have it now." "I know." Victoria squeezed his hand. "It still doesn't feel real sometimes." "It's real, I promise." The DJ announced the first dance. Nathan led Victoria to the floor. They swayed together, surrounded by everyone they loved. "So what happens now?" Victoria asked. "Now we go home. We raise Emma. We run our companies. We figure out life together." "That simple? That complicated?" Nathan smiled. "But we're good at complicated." "We are, aren't we? The best." The song ended. Another began. Guests joined them on the dance floor. Nathan looked around at the people in their lives. His mother finally at peace. Jenny dancing with Emma. Rachel actually smiling for once. Tom awkwardly trying to find the rhythm. All of them here. All of them celebrating. A year ago, Nathan had been alone. Broken. Convinced he would never find happiness again. Now, he had everything. Halfway through the reception, Victoria disappeared. Nathan found her standing outside, looking up at the stars. "Hey, you okay?" "I'm perfect." Victoria didn't turn around. "I just needed a moment." "For what?" "To remember this. All of it." She finally faced him. I spent so long fighting. Fighting my father. Fighting for my company. Fighting to survive. I forgot what it felt like to just be. Nathan moved closer. And how does it feel? Terrifying. Wonderful. Like I'm standing on the edge of something huge and I can't see the bottom. That's called happiness. Is it supposed to be this scary? The real stuff. Yes. Nathan took her hands. The real stuff is always scary, because you have something to lose. Victoria studied his face. You've lost before. I have. Sarah. Nathan nodded slowly. Sarah. Does it ever stop hurting? No. Nathan was honest. But it changes. The sharp pain becomes something softer. Something you carry instead of something that carries you. Victoria was quiet for a moment. I went to see my mother today. Nathan blinked. What? When? This morning, before the ceremony. You didn't tell me. I know. I wasn't sure I was going to go through with it until I was standing at her door. Nathan's heart clenched. What happened? I forgave her. The words hung in the air. Victoria. Not for her. For me. Victoria's voice was steady. I've been carrying so much anger. At my father, at her, at everyone who ever failed me. And this morning I realized I didn't want to bring that into our marriage. So you forgave her. I told her I understood why she stayed silent. I told her I understood why she was afraid. And I told her that even though she failed me, I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life punishing her for it. Nathan pulled her close. That must have been hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Victoria looked up at him. But it was also the most freeing. I walked out of her house feeling lighter. Like I'd finally put down something I'd been carrying for 30 years. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me too. They stood together in the darkness, two people who had been broken finding their way to whole. We should probably get back, Victoria said. Probably. Emma's going to eat the entire cake if we don't stop her. Let her. It's her special occasion. Victoria laughed. You're going to be a terrible influence on her. I'm going to be the best influence on her. That's the same thing. Nathan grinned. I know. They walked back inside together, hand in hand, husband and wife, ready for whatever came next. 1 year later, the house smelled like pancakes. Not burnt pancakes Victoria had mastered those months ago. Real fluffy golden pancakes that Emma insisted were better than any restaurant. Nathan sat at the kitchen table watching his wife cook while his daughter drew beside him. His wife. Even after a year, the word still made his heart skip. Daddy, look. Emma held up her latest creation. It's our family. Nathan studied the drawing. 4 figures this time. Him, Victoria, Emma, and a small blob that might have been a dog or possibly a very deformed cat. Is that the horse dog you keep asking for? It's not a horse dog, it's a regular dog. I gave up on the horse dog. That's very mature of you. I know, I'm 7 now. I'm basically a grown-up. Victoria set a plate of pancakes on the table. Grown-ups don't eat pancakes with their fingers. I'm a special grown-up. Nathan and Victoria exchanged looks. The kind of look that said, she's your daughter too now. Use a fork, sweetheart. Fine. They ate breakfast together, talked about Emma's school play, about Victoria's meetings, about whether they were finally going to get that dog Emma had been campaigning for. I've done my research, Emma announced. Golden retrievers are the best family dogs. They're loyal and friendly, and they don't bite unless you're a bad guy. Where did you learn that? The internet. Nathan raised an eyebrow at Victoria. She's 7 and she's doing research on the internet. She gets it from you. I think she gets it from you. Emma slammed her hands on the table. I get it from myself because I'm a genius. Victoria hid her laugh behind her coffee cup. After breakfast, Emma ran upstairs to get ready for school. Nathan helped Victoria with the dishes. "You know we're getting that dog," Victoria said. "I know. She's been asking for a year." "I know. She even made a PowerPoint presentation last week." Nathan groaned. "I saw it, complete with pie charts. She's going to run a company someday. God help us all." Victoria handed him a plate to dry. "Nathan." "Yeah. I need to tell you something." His stomach tightened. That tone. He knew that tone. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong." Victoria set down the dish she was holding, turned to face him. I have news." "Good news or bad news?" Victoria took a breath. "I don't know yet." Nathan's heart was pounding now. "Victoria, you're scaring me. I went to the doctor yesterday." "What? Why are you sick?" "No, I'm not sick." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "I'm pregnant." Nathan dropped the plate he was holding. It shattered on the floor. Neither of them moved. "What?" Nathan's voice came out as a whisper. "I'm pregnant. 10 weeks." Victoria was crying now. "The doctors said it was impossible. They said I could never, but I am. I am pregnant." Nathan couldn't breathe. "How?" "I don't know. They're calling it a miracle. They've run every test. Everything is healthy. Everything is normal." Victoria grabbed his hands. "Nathan, we're having a baby." Nathan's legs gave out. He sat down hard on the kitchen floor, surrounded by broken ceramic tears streaming down his face. "We're having a baby. We're having a baby." Victoria knelt beside him. He pulled her into his arms. They sat on the kitchen floor together, crying and laughing, and holding each other like the world might end if they let go. "I thought I'd never have this," Victoria sobbed. "I thought I'd never. I know. We're having a baby. We're having a baby." Footsteps thundered down the stairs. "Why is there yelling?" Emma appeared in the kitchen doorway. "Why are you on the floor? Why is there a broken plate? Why are you crying?" Victoria reached for her. "Come here, sweetheart." Emma approached cautiously. "Is someone hurt?" "No, no one's hurt." "Then why is everyone crying?" Nathan pulled Emma into their huddle on the floor. "Because we have news. Big news." "What kind of news?" Victoria took Emma's hand. "You're going to be a big sister." Emma's eyes went wide. "What?" "There's a baby in my tummy. You're going to have a little brother or sister." Emma stared at Victoria's stomach, then at Nathan, then back at Victoria's stomach. "There's a baby in there." "Yes." "Right now." "Right now." "How did it get there?" Nathan and Victoria exchanged panicked looks. "That's a conversation for when you're older," Nathan said quickly. "But I want to know now." Later. Much later. Emma was bouncing now. "I'm going to be a big sister. I'm going to be a big sister." She stopped suddenly. "Wait. Does this mean I don't get the dog?" Victoria laughed through her tears. "You can still have the dog. A baby and a dog. This is the best day ever." Emma threw her arms around both of them. Nathan held his girls, all three of them now, and let the tears fall. A year ago, he had been alone. Now he had everything he'd ever wanted, and things he'd never dared to dream of. The baby arrived 7 months later. A boy. 8 pounds 4 ounces. Perfect in every way. They named him James. After Nathan's father, Emma took her big sister duties extremely seriously. She refused to let anyone hold James except her Nathan or Victoria. She stood guard over his crib like a tiny, fierce protector. "No one can hurt him," she declared. "I won't let them." "Who's going to hurt him, sweetheart?" "Bad guys. Monsters. Daniel." Nathan and Victoria exchanged looks. Emma had never met Daniel Chen. He was still in federal prison, but she knew about him. She knew he was the bad man who had tried to hurt their family. Daniel can't hurt anyone anymore, Victoria said gently. I know, because he's in jail. But just in case. Nathan scooped her up. You're a very good big sister. I know. I'm going to teach him everything. How to draw. How to read. How to train the dog. You don't have a dog yet. We're getting one. Tori promised. They got the dog 2 months later. A golden retriever puppy named Biscuit. Emma had lobbied for Sir Woofs-a-lot, but was overruled by family vote. The house was chaos now. A 7-year-old, a newborn, a puppy, 2 careers, 2 exhausted parents. Nathan had never been happier. One night after everyone was finally asleep, Nathan and Victoria sat on their porch. The same porch swing they'd bought when they moved in. The same stars overhead. Do you remember Christmas night? Victoria asked. Which one? The first one, the restaurant. Nathan smiled. How could I forget some crazy woman asked me to marry her? I wasn't crazy. I was desperate. Same thing. Victoria leaned against his shoulder. I never thanked you. For what? For saying yes. For giving me a chance. For not running away when everything fell apart. Nathan kissed the top of her head. I never thanked you either. For what? For saving me. For showing me that I wasn't broken. For loving Emma like she was your own. She is my own. I know. That's what I'm thanking you for. They sat in comfortable silence. The sounds of the night surrounded them. A dog barking somewhere. A car passing. The soft rustle of wind. Nathan. Yeah. Are you happy? He thought about the question. Really thought. He thought about Sarah. About the years of grief and loneliness. About the rejections and the heartbreak, and the nights he'd cried himself to sleep, wondering if he'd ever feel whole again. He thought about Victoria. About her crazy question in that restaurant. About the journey they'd taken together. The battles they'd fought. The family they'd built. He thought about Emma growing up with a mother who adored her. About James sleeping peacefully in his crib. About Biscuit probably chewing something he shouldn't be chewing. He thought about his mother finally at peace. About Margaret Chen slowly rebuilding her relationship with Victoria. About all the people who had helped them survive. Yes, Nathan said. I'm happy. Victoria lifted her head. Looked at him. Me too. She kissed him. Soft and slow, and full of everything they'd been through. When they pulled apart, Victoria was smiling. That real smile. The one that had changed his life. You know what I was thinking, she said. What? We should go back. Back where? To the restaurant, Rossetti's, where we met. Nathan raised an eyebrow. Why? Because that's where everything started, and I want to see it again, with you, as your wife. Nathan thought about it. That cramped Italian restaurant with the cheap wine and the tired waiters. The place where his life had ended and begun on the same night. Okay, he said. Let's go. They went back the following week. The restaurant looked exactly the same. Same red checkered tablecloths, same flickering candles, same waiter who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. They sat at the same table, the one where Nathan's date had walked out. The one where Victoria had asked her impossible question. It's weird being back, Victoria said. Good weird or bad weird? I don't know yet. The waiter approached. Nathan recognized him. The same guy from Christmas night 2 years ago. What can I get you folks? 2 glasses of red wine, Victoria said. The waiter nodded and left. Victoria looked around the restaurant. I was sitting right there. She pointed to the next table. I watched your date throw that photo at you. I watched you just crumble. I remember. I almost didn't say anything. I almost just sat there and let you walk out. What changed your mind? Victoria was quiet for a moment. You looked at that photo. After she left, You picked it up and you looked at Emma's face, and I saw something in your eyes. This fierce protectiveness. This love that was so deep it hurt. Her voice softened. I thought, that's a good father. That's a man who would do anything for his child. And I wanted that. I wanted someone who would look at a family like that. Nathan reached across the table, took her hand. I'm glad you said something. Me too. The waiter brought their wine. They lifted their glasses. To crazy questions, Nathan said. To crazier answers. They drank. Victoria. Yes. Can I ask you something? Anything. Nathan set down his glass, looked at her with all the love in his heart. Will you be my wife? Victoria laughed. Nathan, I'm already your wife. I know, but I want to ask again, properly this time, without the desperation, without the loneliness, without the fear. He stood up, got down on one knee, right there in the middle of Rossetti's Italian restaurant. Victoria Chen Brooks. Will you marry me? Victoria's eyes filled with tears. Yes. 1,000 times yes. Nathan kissed her. The whole restaurant applauded. They had been two broken people, rejected by the world, convinced they would never find happiness. And then they found each other. Not through luck, not through fate, through bravery, through the courage to ask impossible questions and believe in impossible answers. Nathan had learned something in those 2 years, something that had taken him far too long to understand. Families weren't just born. They were built, piece by piece, through tears and laughter and fights and forgiveness, through choosing each other every single day, even when, especially when it was hard. He had built a family with Victoria, with Emma, with James, with a golden retriever named Biscuit and a mother-in-law who was finally learning to love. It wasn't the family he had planned. It was better. That night, Nathan and Victoria went home to their children, to their dog, to their beautiful, chaotic, imperfect life. Emma was still awake waiting for them. Did you have fun at the restaurant? We did, Victoria said. Did Daddy propose to you again? Nathan blinked. How did you know? Because he's romantic. Emma rolled her eyes. He's always doing romantic stuff. It's gross. Victoria laughed. It's not gross. It's sweet. Same thing. Nathan scooped Emma up. Time for bed, sweetheart. But I want to stay up. Not tonight. Will you tell me a story? What kind of story? Emma thought about it. Tell me about how you and Tori met. Nathan looked at Victoria. She smiled. Okay, Nathan said. It was Christmas night. I was sitting alone in a restaurant. Was it romantic? It was crazy. Same thing. Victoria leaned against the doorframe watching Nathan carry Emma to bed. Listening to him tell their story, she thought about everything they'd been through, every battle, every victory, every moment of despair, and every moment of joy. She thought about Daniel rotting in prison, about Margaret slowly becoming a real mother, about Sarah watching over them from wherever she was. She thought about Emma, who had given her something she never thought she'd have, and James, who was proof that miracles existed. She thought about Nathan, her husband, her partner, her impossible answer to an impossible question. 2 years ago, she had asked a stranger if he could be her new husband. He had said yes, and everything had changed. Victoria wiped her eyes and walked upstairs. She checked on James, sleeping peacefully. She kissed Emma goodnight. She brushed her teeth and climbed into bed beside Nathan. Thank you, she whispered in the darkness. For what? For giving me a family. Nathan pulled her close. Thank you for asking. They fell asleep in each other's arms. Two people who had been rejected by the world and found each other instead. Outside, the stars shone down on their house, on their children, on their dog sleeping at the foot of Emma's bed, on a family that had been built from nothing but bravery and love. Some people wait their whole lives for happiness to find them. Nathan and Victoria had learned a different lesson. Sometimes happiness doesn't find you. Sometimes you have to be brave enough to ask for it, and crazy enough to believe you deserve the answer. The end.